McSherry. I'm one of the co-founders of Peer, and we are trying to create a live streaming stereoscopic 3D camera. You can see Peer right here, and you can see him looking around. And that is basically live head tracking from my mobile phone right now. So he's able to look around a remote virtual environment, and he is able to then live stream that in 3D. We're going for essentially the Periscope quality video, broadcast yourself, but you can broadcast it out in 3D. That video is then viewable using any of the modern 3D or VR devices like Google Cardboard, Oculus Rift, Gear VR we've got here. And you can watch that later, or you can watch it live. So that's the goal of what we're doing, is creating a very affordable, sort of entry-level 3D streaming device.
So what were, you would say, like the biggest challenges for your startups? Getting, starting up and then getting your product out?
When we initially started looking at this in the VR space, we got really excited by a lot of the possibilities for 3D video and wanted to make our own. Then realized it just wasn't affordable for the standard consumer. You either had to build your own devices or get something that was really expensive. So we initially started looking at the software and how to stream 3D content, but then realized there wasn't a hardware solution that could do that affordably. So then we started looking into building hardware and found out there wasn't a software solution. So the problem was kind of figuring out the full circle and just diving into this rabbit hole of VR and figuring out what the best solutions were for all of those individual problems.
So what do you think is the key to have a successful founding team for a startup?
You've got to have a lot of diversity on your team, especially in VR in a completely unknown industry. You need to have people who are willing to wear, and with any startup, willing to wear a ton of hats and just go into areas they're not comfortable with, explore, and try and understand the best they can about any industry.
So how are you guys getting your product to marketing? And how are you looking to get a bigger market share?
Sure, we're actually still exploring that right now. One of the troubles with VR that I think you'll find with most of the companies is that we're building products for a consumer that doesn't exist yet. Most of these VR headsets are not commercially available until next year. So figuring out who the perfect customer is challenging when people don't even know that that sort of product can exist. For us, we're exploring partnerships with larger companies that want to be early adopters in VR and 3D and add 3D technologies to their existing streaming setup for security or entertainment, people who are already doing web streaming.
So how, if you could go back, what would you do differently, you would say?
With this company, it's hard to say because we're still exploring all the things that we're going to say later. I wish I could have done that differently. We're at the early stage of figuring out all the mistakes right now. So I don't think I have any one thing that I regret yet, but I'm sure I will very soon.